Hi, it's WRTV's Ray Steele. I hope you like this video. In fact, I hope you will click that like button down there and click the subscribe button too so you don't miss the new stuff. Or you can click the subscribe button at the end of this video. Really appreciate it. Save the Steeples is the big campaign right now for the next couple of weeks that you can be a part of in Indianapolis. Now, which steeples are we talking about? Because there's a bunch of them, and unfortunately, over the years, a lot of them have gotten in some pretty bad shape from a construction standpoint because everything deteriorates, particularly church steeples. Helen Small is the co-chair of Save the Steeples, talking about St. Mary Catholic Church, downtown Indianapolis, one of the great legendary churches downtown. Helen, first of all, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you.
Now, why are we trying to save the steeples? What's wrong with the steeples at St. Mary?
Well, you know, that it is more than the steeples. It's the entire church that was in need of a super facelift, shall we say, after being there for 110 years. As you say, things deteriorate with the weather and the soil from the atmosphere and that sort of thing. So it really needed to be not only cleaned up, the limestone needed to be tuck pointed. Some of the limestone was coming away. So all these things lead to weather intrusion. And so there is some deterioration on the inside as well. But this campaign is strictly to restore the outside of the church so that it can go on for another century of people who worship there and people who admire the structure as part of our skyline in the downtown.
So it's more than just the steeples, really, then,
yes,
that you're talking about.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen St. Mary Church, this is what, New Jersey and Vermont, that
area? It is,
area?
exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
And so I mean, it's an iconic structure. It's one of those very famous ones downtown that most people have probably seen, at least in passing.
It is a Gothic revival church, and actually St. Mary is patterned after the Cologne Cathedral. The Cologne Cathedral is many times larger, but the north apse of the Cologne Cathedral is what Hermann Gaul used as his pattern for creating our structure, which is more modest than the Cologne Cathedral, but certainly has many architectural references to it, including what a lot of people think are gargoyles, but gargoyles spit water. Grotesques are those little things that look very threatening that come off the side of the building, and we have several of those, and we've nicknamed ours Menschy, because Steinmensch in German is a stone person. So we have, we're keeping a countdown of the money that we've raised over this month. We're trying to reach 100,000. We have about 70,000 left that we need to raise. And so we have this pretty picture in the back of church with Menschy climbing up to the steeples.
That's hilarious. So you learned something today. What you've been calling gargoyles all this time may not have been gargoyles.
That's right. Well, Jim Kinley is the architectural preservationist who is a member of our church. He's on the Historic Preservation Commission, very well noted across the country. And we have benefited so from his knowledge of the deep architectural knowledge of our church and its history. And as a matter of fact, he is the one who found the original drawings by Hermann Gaul in the basement of the rectory. And
wow,
they were covered, they had been there for 100 years. And so they were covered with mold and mildew and looked like they couldn't be saved. But
and no one knew they were there this whole time?
No one knew they were there. And I mean, this is a wonderful find. And so Structure Point redid all of those so that we actually have a beautiful representation of the hand-drawn architect's drawing of Hermann Gaul's of this church. So it's inspirational to see the effort and love that he put into this. And as a matter of fact, it's really kind of a love story because Hermann Gaul came down to Indianapolis And through this Reverend Scheidler at the original St. Mary Church, he met his wife. And so he told the Reverend Scheidler, I will create a beautiful church for you for free.
Wow.
If you ever need one. And sure enough, 10 years later, Reverend Scheidler asked Hermann Gaul to come to Indianapolis and create what is now St. Mary Catholic Church.
That is something else. So $70,000 is what you are looking for
Yes.
from this campaign over the next couple of weeks or so.
Yes.
Why so quickly? What is significant about those dates?
The significance is that we have been given a matching grant from an organization called Sacred Places, which is a division of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And if we raise the $70,000 by the end of this month, they will give us $250,000. Now that is not the total that we've raised. The church over the past 6 years has raised $2.5 million. And this campaign is to raise a little over $750,000. And so this is the last chunk of it that we need to raise. So Leonard Hoops created a lovely announcement for us last week that Downtown Indy pushed out. And we really hope that people in the city will appreciate the architecture that we have in our city, just for that even, to help us sustain this beautiful church, really for all of Indianapolis.
Leonard Hoops, the CEO of Visit Indy, a friend of ours for a long time, and yes, some great work that they have been doing, especially to help you out with this. So if you get this money, this is the chunk of money that you need to get the work started then.
It's actually, we've done quite a bit.
Okay.
We have a lot of the steeples are saved. A lot of the front of the church is the way it should be, but this particular campaign is to finish the bottom of the front facade and the south side of the church. So yeah, it's such a big structure. You have to take it in pieces. So that's what this campaign is all about. It's all about preserving the exterior of the church for the appreciation, love of beauty here in Indianapolis.
Where do people go if they want to give?
Our website is SAINTMARYS Indy.org. So stmarysindy.org. And that will take you to the website, and you can click on where you can give, and then you select Save the Steeples and give however much you can.
Just hopefully do it by June 30th.
By June 30th.
Is what you're looking for to get
Yes.
that matching grant for
Thank you,
the rest
yes.
of that funding. So we'll have
Yes.
all that info at WRTV.com if you want to help save the steeples and save the exterior of one of the prettiest structures in all of downtown Indianapolis, St. Mary Catholic Church. Helen Small, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.